That's going to be your camera audio.
Oh.
You run with the codec. There you go.
Yeah.
Hello. There you go. You have sound for that.
Chick, chick, chick. All right. What's going on, everybody? I think that, let's see if that's,
You shouldn't have Danny, though.
can y'all hear us yet? Hold on. I'm going to properties on that one, too.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me, but can you hear Dan?
No.
All right. Let's see. I think you say something, Dan.
Check 1 2, Danny live, Nissan Nation podcast.
What is going on, everybody?
We got audio. 8 out of 10, Dave. Cordetti gives us an 8 out of 10.
Can you hear? Can you hear?
I think maybe we need more super chats.
Right? Can y'all hear Danny?
We only have audio for super chat, people.
You see him or hearing? Okay.
It says Danny is 3 out of 10.
All right, guys. Well, the first 15 minutes of the show is as usual, awful fun. Sorry, somehow my computer settings all got jacked. Like my the 10-year lag. My settings got jacked from when I moved into the new studio, and somehow I didn't have enough monster in me, Dan.
You didn't suck it down before you got on.
No kidding, man. So I'm glad that y'all stuck with us through that mess. I promise this is the reason we're up here in this new studio and working on this is to not have these freaking problems.
We're so close. Well, Dave, you got your studio pretty set up, and well, now you have it totally set up since you clicked the 2 buttons that needed to click in with the mouse and the things. So that, and luckily you didn't let the smoke out of the computer. But
right.
Next step is for me to actually have my studio done. I've been working on it all day today, and I'm like 80%, well, 75% there. I just got to finish up building the desk and getting that done. So we're getting closer.
We are, and we're gonna have matching backgrounds, from my understanding, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
That'll be sweet. We'll be cool. I mean, I'm wearing my NMP shirt, so
I'm wearing my Star Wars
we're
Mario
both wearing
Brothers.
blue.
Look at this, Star Wars Mario Brothers, man. You gotta love that.
Heck yeah.
Ronald, thank you for that $2.99, buddy. That means something tonight. So it's Woodford's for me, Danny. What do you got going on?
Woodford's. You know what? My wife got the Keurig drink mix, the Drink Master Flash, and you just put a little thing in it.
Yeah.
And it kicks out a perfectly mixed drink. So I'm running a nice little old fashioned. I'm not sure what kind of whiskey's in here, but it tastes delicious.
That's all right.
So
man.
Cheers, all of you guys out there.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us.
It's been a wild weekend for me personally. It's been so crazy. Obviously, the world's falling apart. But you know what? We're glad to be here. We're
gonna burn this place down,
friends.
Dan, we're gonna burn this place down, buddy.
We're gonna burn it down in the right way.
Well, this should be great for people who watch this later in life, and they're like the first 8 minutes of it. They're like, "Why is this guy running around like chicken with his head cut off or something, man? What's he doing back there?"
Yeah,
man.
Well, Dave, we got off to a terrible start, but let's talk about some stuff, Dave. I went on vacation, and I basically dipped out of reality there for about a week, almost a full week, and you've been doing all kinds of exciting things.
I have been, man.
What you been up to, buddy?
Well, let's see. We've worked on the studio up here a little bit. I ordered some new flooring for it. That was exciting, Dan. Look above my head there, Danny. I've been hanging with some crew, man.
I know you got quite the crew.
Let's see if I can pull this. If I can make this work. I've been hanging with this crew. So, I've been hanging with the Nismo crew, Dan, and I know this makes you awful jealous right here.
It does. It really does.
So
I
Danny,
want to go and do Nismo things.
So I told you I kind of told you that I was going to get to test some things, and there's one down the road, down the pipeline, that if that happens, you're really going to be pissed off. But so I got to drive the XD dually this weekend, man.
That's pretty sweet.
It was. We seen it.
Do you want to give it? Do you want to give us any spoilers? I know there's a video popping out about it, but do you want to give it not spoilers, but you want to lay into it a little bit and give us some of the info?
Well, It's a truck. It has 6 wheels, and it goes in forward and reverse. Some of you are gonna have to wait till this week till I drop the video. Probably Tuesdays when that video is gonna drop out. But yeah, it really was. For one, I want to say thank you to Nismo North America for making that happen. They are a pirate ship that likes pirate people, and we are the kind of pirate people they like, Dan. So we're in good company with Nismo.
Yeah, we're definitely some scurvy old I don't know. I lost my pirate lingo there.
Arr, come on, matey.
Scurvy is the only thing I could come up with right now.
But
I'm a little slow tonight, guys. But I'll try and stay on topic and allow my brain to move as fast as my mouth does.
Well, Danny, keep it. I'm gonna look through while you're talking. I'm gonna look through here and see what I might have missed here that people have been asking. Besides, where's the vocals?
Okay, well, Dave, I want to jump into something, and I really haven't been able to talk to you about this, but you know what? I feel like it's one of the topics of the night that we have to talk about. Nissan released all kinds of sweet new stuff.
Wait,
and you talked about it on a couple new videos.
Did they release a video or something?
Something like that. I mean, it's the elephant in the room right now, right?
Well, the Lord knows it's not me. Hey, guys, if you would go ahead and like and smash the like button to this. Danny, I forgot to share it, so I'll do that. I'll do that while we're talking. And
yeah, roger that.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I know this has been kind of a cluster F tonight, but like and share it, please. It means a lot. But you're right, Danny. They I don't know if they were inspired by our release of the
I think
Frontier.
that's what I think it was us. I'm gonna go with it. It was us.
I mean, we made their stock jump the day of that picture release for some weird reason.
Truly, we made their stock jump, and they said, "Oh, wait a second. We need to instill some. We need to get people looking forward to the future, because right now everybody's stuck in their way, or in the now, the present, everything that's going on."
Yep.
So we basically told Nissan, "Listen, this is how you got to do things," and obviously Nissan listens to us specifically because we are the great and powerful Nissan Nation Productions.
Well, they do listen because that's how we got hooked up with Nismo.
Yeah, for sure. But Dave, there was some really, really exciting looking cars that they shot across in their little shadow.
What would be the least favorite that you've seen? Let's start from there and work our way up.
Oh shoot! Now you're well, okay, so let's go through them so that I can remember. I wish I could pull it up right now, but I'm too busy looking at people's comments and stuff. So I'm sure between the two of us we can get through all of them. So I saw what I believe is the Note. Is that correct?
No.
Did you see the N? There was an N. It was the little hatchback. What was that?
It's not the Note. I don't know what that one was, but the Note was just a sub off the Versa. So let's try again.
Okay.
Dan.
Well, in that case, there was an N, and it was a really good-looking little hatchback thing. And I love little hatchbacks, man. They're really cool. All the little Golfs, and back when the Civic was a hatchback, I think those are really, really, really good little cars.
I do too, man.
But yeah, it said N. Maybe it's not an American market because they did show a bunch of stuff, and they showed two mid-sized trucks, one N, one F, right? So they're Terra and Frontier, correct?
Yes.
You were there with me on that? You got that?
I'm there with you on that one.
So there could be a couple things that are not, U.S. versions, but I'm really hoping that they bring that little N. I think the one that I was like, whatever is, what was it? The Rogue, maybe?
There was a Rogue in there. There was a Rogue in there.
There was a Rogue, but I'm totally just, I could kind of care less about Rogues. They're just like the cookie cutter car as far as I'm concerned. So I have zero excitement about any Rogues because they're so cookie cutter, and they were cool way back in the day when they first came out, and that was like the only, Nissan was the only people doing it. But
yeah, but we've seen the Rogue.
I think that's the one that I was least.
Really?
What are you talking about?
We shared some pictures of the Rogue the other day, Dan. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan only half participate in Instagram, so you'll have to forgive Dan.
Dave, I was incognito there for a full week.
That's true.
But what I'm saying is that, like, there's nothing crazy exciting about it. I mean, what is your thoughts on it?
Oh, I think it's going to be epic car SUV, man, because they're finally like updating to where they should have been like 5 years ago, man. Apple CarPlay, the platinum version is going to be like pleated leather, and like the pictures I've seen,
Yeah.
if they are of the SUV, they are pretty freaking epic.
But I mean, are you a Rogue fan? Like, as far as like that segment and that size vehicle, I mean,
would I drive one? I mean,
you think
I would
they're going to
drive
get?
one.
Do you think? Okay, so we saw all those new vehicles. Do you think that is their new platform? They're going to cut all the other lines. Do you think? Because I look at that lineup, and I say, that's a very strong lineup. It hits a lot of really good, solid market platforms, right?
Right.
And the other stuff that's all in between, all their other little things that they sell in between all of those, to me are just kind of like almost like niche cars or cookie cutter cars. When um, you see like Maxima and there's a bunch of cars in between a lot of those that they didn't show. So are they just going to refresh those and those are the new ones,
so
and drop the other ones, or are they?
What we got to see
Gonna
the
just
other
keep 'em
day
going?
was the class of like 2021, 2022. That's why I seen a lot of people going, well, the Titan's gone. And even I initially was like, I was taken back by the drop of the video. So it took me a couple minutes to kind of compartmentalize what that was. But those are only cars that they're dropping.
Yeah. And again, like, I mean, technically speaking, they just dropped a new Titan. So it wouldn't make sense to be like, hey, this is going to be we're going to drop a brand new Titan right after they just dropped what I think they would think was a brand new Titan, right?
Right. Yeah. No. They're not that silly. Of course, look, they did.
It doesn't technically need a refresh,
but they did. If you think about it, they refreshed the Frontier Xterra in 2002, and it had only been out for 2 years. Though the Frontier had been out for about 4 years, and it was on the same platform. But it's not out of character for them to do that. But they haven't even had a shot. If you think about 2020, Titan hasn't even had a shot to get going because of as soon as they launched it out, we had COVID hit, and COVID's just put a hit on everybody. So whatever you believe in that doesn't matter because the world has stopped because of it. And sales wise, it's crippled. They've done all this work to launch the 2020. We went to an event to help launch the truck. They did all what they were supposed to do, and the timing for when they drop it into February, what happened? It's just Nissan had, and I commented on this earlier. Nissan they've got a weird thing for timing. Like the past 25 years in timing with Nissan have just been horrible.
Yeah, no, I can fully agree with that. But let's kind of not switch gears, but let's just go straight to the Frontier, Dave.
Okay.
The Frontier has obviously been something that we have been so near and dear to.
Yeah, we've been locked into that thing.
We got a look at straight from Nissan at what it is. Me personally, it is the truck that we put out, but more of a production version. Obviously, I think what they did is they smoothed up some of the lines on it. Looks like this is obvious. We let out the picture of the Nismo, or what we think is the Nismo version,
and we were very honest in our video.
Look at this.
We were honest in that video that said, "Hey, this may not be the final version."
And again, if you look at the silhouette, if you look at it when you put a little bit different filter on it or whatever, the truck box is very similar. The lights are very similar. And here's something we can talk about. It looked like they squished it a smidge, and it has a little bit more touch of a Tacoma feel, but not in like a copycat way, but in like a good way as far as I'm concerned. What's your thoughts on it, Dave?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Give me a little more of what you're kind of leading to.
Well, the Frontier has always been a little bit of a thicker truck, and you can feel that when you sit in it. The Frontier has a little bit more of a chair type feel when you sit in the truck.
Right.
Where, I'm sorry, the Tacoma has more. Yeah, no, I'm right. Sorry. Again, with my brain, it's very slow today. The Frontier has a chair-like feel. The Tacoma, and this is going back forever. The Tacoma has more of a feet straight as opposed to feet down feel to it. It has a little bit shorter of a cab height kind of a thing, and so, and I don't know if this is what's going to happen, but it looks like they may have slimmed it a little bit. It just looks a little slimmer in the nose. Going back to the cab, the cab may still be the same, but it looks a little bit slimmer, a little bit slimmer than what. It's hard to put it into words for me what I saw.
Well, okay,
but
so let me say
it was more streamlined a little bit.
Let me say that I think it's wider. I think it is a wider truck, man. And if you look at it versus the Navara, so the current Navara, you can see it in the same picture, is basically a third gen Frontier. And I've said this forever. So that is basically the same size as the current Frontier we have. If you look, and I'm gonna find this picture and post it up in just a second. If you look at it, kind of what we see now, it's much larger, man. I don't know. And of course the pictures they show there, you're getting to see what they want you to see too, and how they want you to see it. So is the truck, when you see it in that image, that much larger? I don't know. I know one thing.
I do like the lines of it. Yeah, the headlights are definitely right. Yeah, and I could see in that silhouette, like if you were to just kind of like smooth it out, basically the picture we put and then what we saw in it looks like they smoothed it out. They took some of the blockiness away from it a little bit more to, and in a good way. I'm really excited about that truck. I mean, when I saw that, I was pumped. I was like, they did all the things that I think a lot of people would want them to do. If they, the initial reactions for the truck we put out were mostly good, kind of mixed. But you take that truck and you just, again, it's just more refined from what I can tell. And I'm sure they're going to put in all the great safety features that Nissan does, from the top to the bottom of their line. Well, I did notice that the Navara and the Frontier, the Navara has a little bit of a roof rack thing. The Frontier still does, but it's not nearly as pronounced. Did you notice that?
Once again, they're only showing you what they want you to see,
Yeah.
And yeah, I do, but I do think that the truck, the new truck will get a roof rack and all that stuff. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. It's always been pretty popular with the truck as is, so I don't know why we wouldn't get that now.
Yeah, I think they'll streamline it, make it just slightly less. I don't want to say gaudy, but slightly less pronounced, I guess, is probably the better word. So I'm excited about that. I can't tell you how, like, I watched that video probably 7 times, as like backed it up, went forward, backed it up, and trying to pick out all the different little nuanced pictures of it. And to tell you the truth, it's probably 90% CG. But in truth, they build that truck. They build that truck in CG, they build the trucks in CG. So anatomically for the truck, it's going to be the same as what they produce. So if they're going to put it up like that, it's going to be whatever they're using for the actual truck. So the differences will be very, very light.
Yeah. No, I mean, the truck was done a long time ago, and I know this for a fact. And the thing they keep putting it off is they're just tweaking little things, and it's a timing issue of when they want to release it. And like I said earlier, man, they got just a crap luck of when they get to release when they release things. When do they actually get to come out? And y'all bear with me just a second, because I'm going to try to bring this picture up, Danny. So if you guys
of the Frontier,
yes, if y'all just bear with me.
Dave's clicking the clicks. He's summoning the mouse powers of the magicians of old.
So let's see.
Dave, do you have a wireless mouse?
No, buddy. I'm not that savvy.
Oh my gosh, dude! When are you gonna get that double magic, dude? You know that a wireless mouse always has double magic. I want to see some comments. Who still has a wire on their mouse?
What's wrong with the wire?
The only people that still have wires on their mouses are people in the military.
Really?
That's all I know.
Really?
Why would you have a wire on your mouse, Dave? It's so freeing once you go wireless on your mouse.
Okay. Well, I'll think about that, Dan, and we'll get back to everybody. I'm sitting here trying to listen to you and like trying to bring up our
Thanks.
our third thing, but it ain't gonna happen, guys. I apologize. But so you guys, you've seen the picture of the truck, man. You've seen the little side shot with the F and all that. It's pretty damn, like, I know the boxy thing that we released was actually, you know, like Nismo-y, whatever you want to call that thing. Definitely the headlights are there. We obviously can't see the grill because they don't want you to see the grill right now, but everything I've been told is it definitely has that V-motion grill. So if you look at the picture to the right of it, you'll see the new Pathfinder, and that's pretty much, I think, the grill we're going to get on that thing. So I'm too lame for wireless. What are they talking? What are our people talking about in there, Danny? What did you get them stirred up to?
I'm telling you, Dave. Nobody has a wired mouse anymore.
Really?
Blown away.
Nobody.
I don't even know. I didn't even know they still sold those.
Wow, man, kind of hurt my feelings, Dan. That's okay.
I don't even know if I want to be on this podcast.
Wow.
Let's talk. Okay, so we've talked about the Frontier, talked about the Navara, the Pathfinder. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Still a smidge, in my opinion, still a smidge light in the shorts, if you will, for me.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, they're going in the right direction. So I'm excited to see that one. I think that one's definitely going to be, once it's revealed, for real. And you know, we showed a bunch of spy pictures on it.
Yeah.
So which were pretty close to what, you know, we saw in the video that they shot. So I'm excited for the Pathfinder. I think it's got a lot of the things that we've been pushing towards. It's definitely not what it used to be, and I don't know if they're ever going to go back to that. But I'm pumped on that.
Well, I thought I had it here, Dan, and it doesn't look like I do. The Pathfinder. I think the Pathfinder is going to be a home run, man. They sell a ton of that thing now. Like
they do, yeah.
I don't know what more they need to do to make that thing. All right, let's just go back. Sorry, guys. I tried to make it work. I don't know what they need to do to make that more of a hit. Like, they were selling 4,000 to 5,000 a month of that thing, which is pretty damn good. Now, we all know that the current Pathfinder has that CVT transmission, and we've documented that, and we've talked about what a mistake that thing is. And
yeah,
you know, it is what it is. Oh, and let's see, Sleepworks. That video actually was produced in Japan. I talked to somebody over the weekend that knows the person that made it. It was actually pretty cool. But the Pathfinder definitely needs some things. Like, Nissan as a whole needed to step their brand up a little bit. And if you're going to call something a platinum edition, look at Ford. Ford calls something a platinum edition, man. You're getting all the bells and whistles. So Nissan, they're coming out, they're stepping it up. And I think it's going to be a little more truck-like. They've got a new design that they're looking to kind of fit everything in the mold. In that picture, man, if you look, there was a lot of different headlights, which I was happy to see. I was definitely happy to see.
It wasn't too cookie cutter. They really, I think that helps set apart, you know, each one. There was a similarity just in kind of like a grand scheme of things, but different enough to where they can set each one apart. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the one that really, and I'm building excitement about this one, is Ariya. I know you, Danny, you're not much on electric stuff, but dude, the amount of time they've put into developing this thing, and I was told that what they showed dealers and at the auto shows, that was pretty much production ready. So other than the wheels, they'll put different wheels and stuff on it. But the thing I'm looking for Ariya is, how many miles are you going to get out of that thing? At minimum, I think you're going to need 300 miles. At minimum, 300 miles.
Totally agree with that. Minimum 300 miles. It's got to be equivalent to a gas motor at least. And that's kind of the industry standard these days when you see a lot of the Teslas coming out and a couple of the other vehicles on the market are really pushing. I mean, that's a big thing right now.
Yeah. I don't know that you've seen this or not, but I forget what YouTube auto journalist reported this, but he broke down the numbers of EVs sold, and EVs still haven't sold like 2% of the market. Like, you think,
Yeah.
oh man, they're really cooking. You know, Tesla's selling like crazy. And yeah, Tesla sold 80% of the market share of EVs, but after that, Nissan is number 2. And Nissan has a pretty good chunk of it, and then it dwindles down to, I didn't even know Mitsubishi made an EV, but I guess they do. But the numbers aren't there, and like you were saying, it has to be somewhat like a gas distance, and I don't mean that in like, oh, they need to recharge fast, but they do. But you need to be able to go, if my little Juke, I can get 300 miles out of that on its little 12-gallon tank or whatever it has. There's no reason why an electric vehicle, that should not be the minimum standard to get out of it. Now, granted, too, you get Tesla and all these with their ludicrous modes, and that just kills batteries. It eats them up quick. But that's not Nissan's market. They need to just go for the person that wants to feel good about their purchase, which is that's all an electric vehicle is about, is you feeling good about your purchase. And basically getting you to and from work a few times a week before you need to charge it.
Yeah, agreed. The supercharged things are going to be, you're going to start seeing those everywhere. I went out to a little town out in the middle of nowhere, and there was a little charging station, and there was like 500 people in that town. So that infrastructure is coming around, and I think that's one of the big things is you have to have infrastructure in order to make those things work, as far as, just large scale.
Tesla definitely has been working. I know Tesla's putting in little substations, not even like charging stations, but they're putting in little substations. They're really getting involved with it. And that's what needs to happen. And the biggest thing too is everybody has a different charging plug. Like there's going to have to become a standard. Here's the standard for this, so that everybody, if there is a Tesla charging station and I'm in a Ariya, that I should be able to go to their charging station, maybe pay a surplus or an extra fee to use it, but so we can all be on the same page and not this 15 different plugs. And clearly Tesla leads the way on this, so everybody needs to follow their direction.
It would be nice if Tesla, as far as their charging is concerned, if they became like an industry standard, like you could, the Tesla charging station was kind of like almost like a separate entity, like a 76 would be or something like that. But so I don't know if I'm going to talk about EVs all night.
I know you're not big on EVs, but so the next thing that stood out to me, and a lot of people didn't pick up on this, it was Terra. Danny, Terra was all the way to the right.
I loved it. That's where I was going next, Dave, and I'm excited. It looks cool, man. I was really pumped on that. It doesn't look like the current Terra thing that we saw pushed out all over the place that we really wanted. Obviously, we thought that was almost like a new Pathfinder look, but it looks a little bit more rounded off, a touch more rounded off, but it does look aggressive. It looks like it's got some ground clearance. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with that, and I'm just praying that they bring it to the U.S. market.
Right. No, I
you know what I'm saying?
I don't know why. I mean, I know there's crash testing and stuff, and they're selling you. Danny needs to wipe his webcam. The oils are making you shine too much.
It's my computer. It's not.
Danny's he's going to get there,
my
guys.
Computer. It's not my webcam.
He's going to get there.
I got a new plan.
But Terra, we did that video on it. It's other than crash testing, it's ready for the market. They could drop the 3.8 liter V6 in it with a 9-speed transmission. Imagine that. Say, what is it, 310 horsepower to that engine right now, dude. Versus the 261 that the Xterra currently was. That would be great, man. And the inside of it still holds true to the everything you need, nothing you don't. It has some plush things to it. Don't get me wrong. There's that third row seating that me and you would fight about, because I think the third row seating in that particular vehicle is just stupid. Much like the Rogue.
In which vehicle?
The Rogue is going to get a third row seating in the Terra, Danny. I don't see a need for 3-row seating.
I don't know if I'd see. I'd have to see the vehicle. I mean, if it's big enough, I'm down for that, because personally, the third row is a big deal for me and my wife. But if it's a Terra that's similar in size to the Xterra, the third row is a bit much.
Yeah, for that one. And Rogue is getting a third row.
I don't see it for that size.
Why Rogue is getting a third row?
Wow, that's weird.
Oh,
That is weird.
Flytrap.
It's such a small car for a third row.
Flytrap, thank you so much, buddy.
Dang,
And
thanks, bro.
Flytrap, your hat ships out this week. So, and anybody that's
Sweet.
ordered the hats, I got to show them, Danny. I got a box full of hats.
Do it,
right
dude.
here.
let's see them.
So we changed the hats.
I might need a new one. This doesn't match
Oh.
to everything, and I'm
you're getting
sweating a lot in
freshie,
this thing.
But look at it. See if it'll focus in. Look at it. Now says Productions on it, Daniel.
Oh,
So
the new, all new.
yeah. So everybody that ordered, I had some back orders that I had to fill. So you're actually going to get the new hat. You're not getting the old.
The
Nobody
new
wants the
hat.
old
That's
hats,
pretty
man.
sweet.
Let's
I
see
don't
it.
even have the new hat. You get our sweet listeners are gonna get new hats before I even get one.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I can get you one, Dan. Let's see. There was a couple questions in here, and we'll get back to what we were talking about. Let's see. Joe Taylor, I just made you a moderator of the chat, man. So you're a good dude, and we appreciate that. Said you watched the whole Nissan live stream and reveal plan and saw the Ariya is coming out in July and Rogue in June. Well, let's stop on the brakes there on that one, because I was told by an inside source everything has been delayed 60 days, at minimum 60 days. So the plan was for, Ariya was going to be at the New York Auto Show along with Rogue, my understanding. And, obviously there was no auto show. Sadly, the New York Auto Show pushed back till like August or something, and then they finally went ahead and canceled that. The next auto show would be Detroit Auto Show. They canceled that one. And which leaves pretty much the LA Auto Show, which would Danny would be able to go to, and that's about it. Other than the fact that they do like to release trucks at the Texas State Fair. Once again, is that going to happen? But they're going to release some. They're going to do some virtual release stuff. They've got to. Nissan needs some good press news, and I think that video bought them a lot of good press. I really do. I think it was past time, and I think they knew it. But, and also let's everybody keep in mind, those vehicles were global vehicles that you saw, so that doesn't mean they're all coming to the States. But like I was saying, Danny, the Terra, I think it's a done deal to come to market. Like, it's everything you need, nothing you don't, man. And they could beat Toyota.
It is.
I've got a video coming out this week on this, actually. And they can beat Toyota 4Runner to the punch, because 4Runner's just laid there. It's why do I need to update this?
They're not doing a bunch with it. Yeah.
And the updated
totally
version
agreed.
is 2022. So Nissan could beat them by the punch by a year. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, that would be really good. We had a quick question from. Well, first let me touch on. A monster said Terra is disliked around the world because of the Renault chassis, which is interesting. I haven't heard about that.
I don't know that it's a Renault
that'd be
chassis.
interesting to look into.
It's actually built on the Navara platform.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
And if you look under it, Danny, I've seen under this thing, it looks like it's got the old what is it, 233B or whatever, the axle that was under the old Xterra.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, H223. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a beefcake.
And then DD is asking if the new 3.8 liter in the Frontier is essentially a GTR engine just without turbines. No, it is. So I read a big article from Z1 about this motor, and they said that everything that they can tell about it is it's closer to the 3.0. And I might be getting this wrong, but I believe this is what they were talking about. I think they're talking about how it's got a lot of similarities to the 3-liter VR engine that's in the Infinities that we're hoping is going to be possibly in the new Z, which is another topic. But it has a lot more similarities of the VR and the VQ. It's almost like a collaboration of the VQ and the VR together with some of their heads and intake manifolds and valve train, etc. So it is definitely not the 3.8 that they put in the GTR, which is something that everybody was like, wait a second, it's a 3.8 and the GTR is a 3.8. I think it's it just matches as far as size, and it's a pretty popular size just due to stroke and compression ratios, etc. So,
and you know what it is?
That's all just kind of standard stuff.
It's 0.2 liters bigger than the Toyota engine. So,
yep.
And people that tell you size doesn't matter are dumb, because Toyota took such crap for that in their Tacoma. Like, they took a lot of crap about that 3.5 liter, how it's basically the Camry engine and it has no power, and it really doesn't.
Yeah,
It does not
it
have a lot of
really
power
it
at
was
all.
it was a real step. It was a step back for Toyota, and I think right now was like the prime time for Nissan to kick it into high gear to get that new truck out, because Toyota just kind of they shit the bed really
Yeah.
with that, we'll call it the new Tacoma, which isn't, it's not great, you know.
Yeah. Hey, Danny, here's a Flytrap asks a question. He said, form factor of charge plugs aside, the U.S. Infrastructure needs a big buildup to support the significance of EV sales. California already gets brownouts now. Imagine if they had 1/4 of the cars were EVs. Now, we had talked about this last fall when you guys were having those issues. A lot of that is it's made on purpose, right? And I don't want to get political here, but some of the shutdown of your grid system out there was due to fires.
Yeah, a lot of the shutdown was because they didn't want live power lines during high winds and fires and stuff like that. And so they didn't, or they didn't want power lines going down and starting fires, etc. So they would do planned power outs and stuff like that. So um, California is always a little all over the map when it comes to their grids, power grid.
Right.
I was just driving back from out of state, and I noticed all these new solar farms that are just all over the desert in between California and Nevada. And
Oh, that's right.
it's interesting what California is doing for power. Some's good, some's not, I think, but I don't think I'm informed enough to talk about that, to tell you the
Well,
truth.
I just wanted you to.
I'm not that smart, guys.
I wanted you to just touch on that just a little bit, because I know we have privately talked about that, and you've been like, "Hey, man, it's not all like goofy. It's kind of, some of it is actually needed." Let's see the Z, Danny. So let's get into this. I know our buddy.
Yes, let's chat about
our buddy
it.
Z Works there would like to talk about it, and I know Carrie Beasley and a few others would like to talk about it. And there's Danny blowing his nose.
Dave, I really need to do that.
Hey,
I
man,
really need to do that.
That was
Got
for the
my
people.
allergies going here in Southern Cal.
That was for the people.
Got the
man.
Coronas.
So the Z, Danny, Nissan made it a point to make that Z front and center. You know, like they waited. The way they did it with Ariya first,
teased it, and then gave it the full length. Yeah,
A to Z, and everybody, like Nissan said, I forget their design. The head of design talked about taking the car to their heritage level. So everybody was like, "Oh, 280Z," and people were pretty right on that one. Now, the design of it, I've seen a lot of renderings, and I have to say, a lot of those handmade renderings look pretty damn close to what Nissan put out there.
Yeah, there was a couple of them that were like spot on. And I'm totally in love with how they went a little bit retro with it, and they brought it back to its very, slightly smaller feel. It's not quite so big bootied, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And just, the lines on it are really, really great. And yeah, we've kind of seen it already just in some of those artist renderings. But it's great to see that Nissan, either they took a cue and said, okay, this is what people are, getting on board with. Let's go that direction.
Well,
so I'm really, really pumped on that.
There's really only so many things you can do with a rear-wheel drive platform too. I mean, there's only so many ways to keep the engine out front without shoving it in the cabin of the car. And the only thing I don't want them to do is go too close to the 280. Like, I mean, it does have obviously the 280 feel, and the Z on the side of it, how they zoomed out, and you see that Z at the beginning, and they zoom out, and it's right on the rear quarter there where it used to be.
Yep.
I can see a lot of people popping that off real quick. Honestly, I love it. I love it, but I probably would take that badging off too. And the little chrome strip you see now. I have a video coming out this week on this as well, but I think some of the like the chrome strip and stuff, it might be a little throwback to the old ones, and maybe we don't see some of that in production. It was just to give you the goosebumps, the feel of like, holy cow, it's the old car in a modern form.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Sleeper. Sleepwalker mentioned that as well. But I didn't. I went over it a couple times. I didn't quite see the chrome that you're referring to.
It's right over the door.
Maybe I just saw it different. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't think you know my feeling on chrome on vehicles these days. I think that's like a big mistake for the most part. Whether it's a platinum, whatever, I think chrome is terrible.
Well, the headlights as well to me stuck out because everybody was imagining the old round headlights, which they could do.
Right.
But the way they had the daytime running lights was the new kind of their new thing of both above and below the main light. And obviously this car's got to have LED lights. So usually you throw 3 of those in a row, and I don't know how they'll make that work, but I don't care because the car it brought a lot of excitement, man.
Yeah, and I think too is the Supra came out, and then there's so much of a fanboy aspect to the Supra that when it came out and it was a BMW,
yes.
that everybody didn't care. But at the same time, I feel like the Z is a better version of what the Supra looks like. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very similar as far as like the big long bonnet / nose, kind of the small cab section in the back, similar style of vehicle, but at the same time I think they pulled it off way better as far as what I've seen.
Let's see, we got a couple questions here. Silver Warrior, thank you for that donation, by the way, guys. These donations, thanks, they do help quite a bit. Let's see, he was asking, will the Titan Warrior ever come out? No. I hate to say it, man. We could wish all day, but that truck is never going to see the light of day. The closest you're going to get to that truck is the potential Nismo Frontier that could come out. That's the closest, and it makes the sense. Nissan would need to sell 10,000 Titans a month to kind of make sense to, because it's about the stamping of it, really. It's not about the underpinning of the vehicle, and it just wouldn't.
Yeah, they would have to bump sales quadruple before they would be able to justify that.
But Frontier can do this, so that's why it makes sense. And nobody's playing in this mid-sized market of a kind of a halo truck. I know we keep hearing about the Ranger Raptor. Oh, the Ranger Raptor from Australia, which to me is like there's no excitement in a diesel engine. Yes, diesels can be cool, but when you restrict them so much, like all these governments do now, there's no excitement to that. No giddy up and go. But here in the States, God bless us, we've got gasoline engines here, man, and that's the one benefit about it is it's a lot cheaper to make those go faster and reliable. So I do believe the Frontier is going to get the Nismo version. I do believe that. I mean, I've been told within inside sources that if it doesn't happen in year 1, it's year 2 that it pops out. So we'll wait and see on that one.
I could see that happening. Yeah,
but I know all the dealers, talking to multiple dealers, they've all told Nissan, if you don't bring that out when you launch the truck, don't bring it out at all because you're teasing, like they did with the XD. They brought the diesel out. We got to see a XD diesel before we ever got to see the 1500. And then they waited 8 months to bring the 1500 out. Don't do that. You flub that up, and then, you use the Halo vehicle to sell the lower tier vehicles. That's all you do. You take a shiny penny, put it in the dealer's showroom, and they're gonna mark them up. Say they build that car or that truck, it's marked up $20,000 as soon as it hits dealer lots, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, you kind of saw that in the Raptor when the Raptor started taking off big time. Is that they started getting massive markups on the Raptor. So, and you only hope that Nissan can get into that type of situation where they come out with an enthusiast vehicle and it almost turns into its own line of vehicle, basically.
Right.
You know.
Well, I know after spending time with Nismo this weekend, like they are excited. They've got a lot of cool things coming down the pipelines, and they are excited. And I have to say one thing. So my video that I did on the Juke when I installed the Nismo exhaust on that thing, Danny, I gotta bite my lip on this, man, and apologize to Nissan and Nismo because it is the first production muffler sold in the United States. but they're building them in the United States, Danny. I thought it came from Japan, and I was wrong. I was told
Made in USA, Dave. Look at you.
I know
Look
I was
at you.
wrong, man. But I didn't realize that Nismo actually made product here in the United States. So that is actually really cool, man. And
Yeah, for sure.
Kelly, hey, let me tell you this. Kelly somehow got sweet talking Nismo, and there could be some cool things down the road for that too. So I leave it at that.
Nice.
But I know Nismo really is excited about. They want a truck. They want something like this that they can, be excited about. And I know I was told Nismo Japan is super excited about mid-sized trucks. So let's see. We got a bunch of questions.
I think
here.
mid-sized truck has some home runs that they can hit if they do it right and they mind their P's and Q's and
That's right.
aren't afraid to step
guys,
out
if
just a smidge even.
If you want your questions answered, see that little thumb thing there on the underneath the productions thing? Smash that. But don't bust your screen. But hit it as hard as you literally can without breaking your screen. We need all the likes on these videos we can get. But let's see. Let's get into some more questions here.
Apparently, I got Megatron face all seized up.
Yeah, just a little bit. That's all right. Let's see. Carrie Beasley, the differences between the X-Trail and the Terra. Why one over the other markets? Well, X-Trail used to be Xterra, Carrie, and it's no longer. It's basically a Rogue now. So X-Trail name seems to be whatever they want to throw it on. They put it on there. There's a couple.
Yeah.
There's a couple more. Joe Taylor, I hope Rogue doesn't get a third row. 2 cookie cutter. Let's see what else we got here. There was a couple good questions. And I don't mean to skip over your questions. We would like to answer.
So there's
everyone.
a question. Hey Dave, is the Pathfinder 2021 model year or a 2022? What's your take on that? Joe asked.
I've not been told exactly, but I would bet it's a 2021. So the next 18 months you're going to see a bunch of releases. Now they're going to spew these out in segments because they build up. Each department builds up. Here we're gearing up for, say, Rogue. So right now, Rogue and Ariya definitely are the priorities. So those are the 2 they're going to launch. And then once you get that out for a month, you do all your press tours through that. And then, okay, it's reset time. It's what's the next vehicle that we're launching? Bam, the next few months you spend on that one. So I do think this year we're going to see Rogue, we're going to see Ariya, and we're going to see Pathfinder and Frontier. I do believe you're going to see that. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be able to buy them. Let's get that straight because of the way production is a mess right now. I did read a report where they said, Danny, that 2020 Frontier is going to end production in June. So that means they basically get 2 months of production out of that.
Wow, that's interesting. That's weird. I wonder how many they've made. Very interesting.
Well, I know I think I mentioned this last show. I know when I worked truck line, you could do about 500 trucks a day, and that was cooking for Nissan Smyrna.
And I'm wondering too is if they're just not planning on selling. They probably looked at how many they sold the prior year. And they say, we're going to pump it out with a new motor and trans, and we might sell a few more. I'm obviously they probably have projections and stuff, and they say, okay, we're going to make this many, and then we're going to pop out our new truck, and that's that. And really their production change as far as engine and a lot of the other things. It might be small changes for the production. Tooling changes and whatnot on all the machines,
right,
to get into the new truck. So there may not be a huge change for building that truck compared to what they're building right now.
Well, the thing that sucks is so 19 Frontiers, they stopped production of that in December. They had to do their Christmas break, then they come back and they start running trials for the 2020s, which wouldn't take very long to run trials because it's basically the same vehicle. By the end of February, they're starting to produce it, and then all this other crap happens. So I don't know. There's a lot of speculation. I know the plants are about to kick in. I seen Joe Taylor says starting tomorrow, but I'm in a few groups that they're going to slowly start, but they're not going to it's not kick back in because they still can't get parts from Mexico right now.
And I'm sure there's things like with any other business, there's so much protocol that you have to go through in order to get your business open these days. So I'm sure Nissan has to, every production facility, they have to jump through all the hoops that whatever their county and government is making them jump through. So they're only going to be able to bring back so many people. they're still going to have people, whether it's telecommuting or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, they'll start producing some things. Maybe maybe they'll start producing a couple motors here and there, or
Yeah.
whatever their prerogative is, in accordance with whatever stipulations that they have to follow in order to be even open up their
Well,
facility.
look at Ford. Ford opened up their plant, and 2 days later, they had like a dozen people supposedly had COVID. Now, that doesn't mean they got it from that plant by any means. Like, that's some of the clickbaitiest shit I've ever read. But there is a little bit
sure.
there is a little bit of concern with that. And I know Nissan. So I've gotten the memos that where they have to wear either face shields and masks plus gloves and all this stuff. And it was hot as hell when I worked in warehousing. And guys, in March, it was getting hot as hell in those warehousings. They're not AC cooled, man. Trust me. So there's a lot of problems to deal with on that. But let's get back to some cool questions. There was DD. I've heard the Frontier is planned for early 2021. Let's break this down a little bit. So I know from the last Titan that, let's see, when the Gen 2 came out, they showed it at the Detroit Auto Show. It was by late April, somewhere in there. I can't remember, May. It was out on dealer lots. So the previous refresh they did, 2020, they showed it at the Texas State Fair, which is August, I think. And me and Danny got to do previews on it in November. We got to do press tours with that. And then 1st of January, I think, is when it really started hitting. Somewhere 1st of January started hitting lots. So it does make sense that it would be 2021. But this COVID thing gets in the way of everything because they were pushed back 60 days. So everything, and this is pretty much across the board in the whole auto industry, has been pushed back 60 days. I know Ford's about to launch the Bronco. They're going to have a virtual launch on it coming up, I think, middle of June. So these companies are figuring out, how do we show these new vehicles? I've talked about it before. You got trials. So they'll go through trials. And the truck that I saw in Chicago, the 2020 I saw, was a trial vehicle that was built in November. So
let me ask you this, Dave. Do you think that with the new kind of virtual reveals that they're going to start doing, do you think that we're going to start seeing slightly less auto show situations when maybe dealers start saying, okay, you know what, this worked out just as good, and these big auto shows might be
let's
talk
about
going
that, man.
a different route, because they're weird. Like real auto show, like Chicago and some of those. So the one that you went to, it's a little odd. Even the LA Auto Show, it's kind of odd that's
so every auto show is tailored to a particular segment. So what you see in Chicago, you're not going to see revealed in New York, because the New York market is a sedan. It's a car market. It's high-end market. And like your LA show has been traditionally more compact cars that they kind of show out there. And they've really used the Texas State Fair as a truck show, and it's not just Nissan, it's the industry as a whole. So look at Chevrolet, the Vet last year. They didn't need a car show to launch that thing. They had it in a aircraft warehouse. They invited the press they wanted there, and it spread like wildfire. So
there was some
And auto shows are expensive for these guys. Don't like I watched what Ram, Dodge, or basically Fiat spent on the Chicago Auto Show, and they had half the building. And you're talking millions of dollars to launch a vehicle like that, just for the space, not including your people and everything. So yeah, could Nissan rent out freaking the Tennessee Titans Stadium and hold their own thing there? Yeah, I think they could, and I think it would be a lot cheaper. And I like going to car shows, don't get me wrong, especially when we do it as press. But at the end of the day, I'm tripping over every mommy blogger that shouldn't be there. There's a lot of people that go to those that have no business being there. We've seen people at Nissan events that have no business being there, Danny, and that's why you're giggling because you know
Mommy
this to be
blogger.
true.
Like, yeah.
Oh no, there's a ton of money. Oh my God, there was so many little bloggers, Pinterest bloggers or whatever they are, that at the Chicago show I was tripping over people that with long fingernails and their hair was all high and like they were like trying to do their little hey guys, I'm at the Chicago Auto Show. It was like, do you even know what a car is? Like that's kind of the dumbness I felt of what they do. Now, do they have their place? Maybe. I don't know. Influencers in general now, Danny, are, Nissan considers us an influencer. So
my thought is just with the reachability of the internet and, whether it's YouTube or however many different platforms they use in order to launch something, is it so much more cost effective, and are you able to get to just as many people through through a virtual reveal as opposed to the almost dog and pony show of a auto show.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and it is a dog and pony show.
It's going to be interesting. Sorry, Dave. It's going to be interesting to see how this changes things for the future with all this, limitations on what people can do. So all of a sudden you see, you put all this effort into changing things for at least for now, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, you know what? This was so much more cost effective. We did it just as good. Let's start doing this in the future. I think there's going to be a lot of that where, we spent almost half a year now in this weird situation. So, and now everybody's just going to light all the cars on fire.
Right. Pretty much. And to get kind of wrapped up on the car show thing, what a lot of you don't see is the money they spend before the car show, where like they did the reveal of the 2020 Frontier. Nissan spent no expense, like they spared no expense on whining and dining us. Me and Kelly both went. It was open bar. It wasn't like a bottom shelf open bar, man. And it was in this amazing restaurant that had this big showcase where they could pull cars in. And they spent a lot of money right there. Now, Nissan's display at the auto show was horrible. Like, I'll call Nissan out on that all day long. Nissan had the worst display of anybody there. I'm talking like,
I think that
Daewoo or whatever could come back and probably had a better display than what Nissan had.
Well, Dave, I think the thing is too is when you go to an auto show and you have nothing to show, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like what do you? I think the people that were in charge of it, they're like, yeah, we'll go to the auto show, we'll bring our cars, but we have nothing to show. That what are we gonna spend all of our money on? Showing off a new friggin' Sentra or something like that. That
they could send us to Salt Lake City again. I wouldn't mind that.
But there was a total lack of motivation to even bother spending a ton of money and doing a big thing when there was nothing new going on with them.
Well, I've got another question here. So Christopher Simmons, and guys, once again, I apologize if your question gets pushed up the thing. I try to scan through it, but like trying to run a board here and all this it gets to be a little bit. He's asked, Danny, do you think they will bring back the Xterra? It would compete against the JL, Bronco, and 4Runner. And why I don't think we'll ever see the name Xterra again, even though there's a lot of heritage and pride to that name. I can foresee them bringing back Terra or bringing Terra to the States, which is basically a third gen.
I can see that conversion.
As long as they need to sell 15,000 a month or more. Like they can't sell not 15,000. Let's see. I forget what it was doing. Yeah, probably 10 to 15,000 a month.
That was their very high number, I think, is 15, but it's got to be up closer to those Rogue Pathfinder, higher volume cars that they were selling.
But I think they could do it. Let's see. As much as I like the Warrior with a supercharger turbo, I don't see them doing it. Flytrap, I would agree with that. I could see them doing the little turbo. If they did a Nismo Frontier, I could see you got to have something special about that engine. It can't be the same thing with a cooler exhaust. It's gonna need a little more pep. Let's see.
Well, I disagree, Dave. I think a good tune in that engine, and you're gonna be blasting the class. I think styling is going to be the most important thing. If you came out with a Nismo version that had the big, a very aggressive off-road version of that car or that truck, with a lot of little bells and whistles, kind of like what a ZR2 does. They have a really cool suspension that they put on that.
Right.
I think if you pair that with just a little bit of horsepower, maybe it's got 20 more horsepower. I mean, you're blowing everybody out of the water with a 330
right
horsepower.
Now, yeah.
I mean, you don't need more than 330 horsepower in that truck, in that size.
Well,
I mean, you can be able to do anything with that truck.
Well, yeah, I mean, a mid-sized truck with you get 350 horsepower, and that's like it would be a little crazy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, you put a turbo on, you're up in the 400 horsepower range. Like that's ridiculous for that size of a truck.
Yeah, but
you need those huge numbers for bigger trucks and whatnot. And then
but
like
look at
Raptors and whatnot, they have big numbers. But
yeah, but that's what I'm getting at. Raptor has big numbers, and it separates itself from Ford, from their regular F-150s, even just by horsepower numbers. So they need that. But yeah.
what made the Raptor is you could literally drive that thing off the lot down to Baja, and you could run Baja in it, and it would. I mean, you could literally jump it off a jump, and it would land and not taco the frame. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the reasons why Raptor was Raptors, because they put legitimate shocks on it. They gave it a much wider stand. They actually gave it real suspension. They didn't just slap a set of Bilsteins on it and call it an off-road version.
Mm-hmm.
They put real R&D into the suspension to where you could go and beat the piss out of that truck, and it did a lot of things that you would never do with your F-150.
Right.
And so I'm thinking, with the mid-sized truck, yes, give it some more power. I don't know if you'd need to supercharge it or anything, or turbocharge it. Maybe they can squeeze some more horsepower out of it. But
I just don't see
if you gave it a
exhaust.
really good suspension, I see it.
I just don't see them like putting a Nismo exhaust under it and say you free up 18 more horse or something like that. I just don't see that being enough to separate it from the pack, but that's all right. I mean, we'll find out more as the months come along. Let's see. Silver Warrior, there hasn't been much talk about the Titans. So is the Frontier going to take over, and do we see the Titan going away? No, I do not see the Titan going away just yet. They've spent, you think about it. Let's see, the first one came out in 2004. There's a lot of years in that name now, and a lot of money they've just trying to justify to make that thing go. I do think that Frontier is going to butcher Titan sales unless they do something ridiculous, because people love a mid-sized truck.
You think
Nissan.
so?
Yeah, I think that it could. I think it could hurt their sales. But there was talk of, we're going to use Frontier as the halo truck for our truck line, and hopefully it brings people to the lots.
I think it could spotlight Nissan trucks in general, just because the Titan has never got the visual and or the spotlight really for the Titan, just due to poor marketing really. And so maybe more people come to the lot. They're not sure what they want. They might be saying, hey, you know what? I didn't even know there was a larger truck or something like that. I think Nissan Frontier, if they come out and they hit a home run with it, I think it could cause a spike in sales across the lineup, personally.
Well, and the idea is, if it brings people in because people know the Frontier name, it brings them into the lots, and then they go, oh, I didn't know Nissan made a full-size truck. So that's kind of that's what I meant by that. Was it's. But ultimately, I think your Nissan truck buyers, I think they're going to look at Frontier, and they're going to look at Titan, and they're going to go, I'm probably going Frontier. But the people that are full-size truck buys that may be curious about, say if they get a Nismo Frontier at the lots, are curious about it and go, oh damn, I didn't know you built a full-size truck. And then it's up to that dealer to open that truck door and let them look inside and go, hey guys, this is what you're getting for your money versus what Ford or whoever's giving to you. And let's see, Silver Warrior, you didn't have to give us that $10 there to get that same question answered. I was trying to get to you, but I greatly appreciate that. Once again, all the donations that you guys give us, just the changes that you're seeing within the show, it's helping us do that. So we do greatly appreciate that. And also, if you don't like just doing like a one-time thing like that, we do have Patreon, guys. It's under me there. You can see it. Nissan Nation Podcast. $5 a month goes a long way.
Nissan Nation
guys.
Productions too.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
well,
is our Patreon
it's
still podcast?
It's still podcast.
Okay,
and we
all right.
released a podcast this week, Danny.
Yeah, we did a little old school, threw a little something out. We had it was good.
And then my wife, you'll love this, Dan. My wife crushed my SD card that had a bunch of interviews on it. Yeah. Like either her.
Speaking of crushed, Dave. Speaking of crushed, this is a first official announcement. You'll see more on my YouTube, boys and girls.
Are we talking about what
I think we've talked? I think we've talked about new Nissan stuff enough, but I have a big,
hey Danny,
sad announcement.
Cheers, brother. Cheers, buddy. Because
cheers. I've been drinking a lot lately.
This makes me cry.
Yeah. So, as I was telling Dave recently, I went on a little off-road adventure, which was a lot of fun. However, the Big Red Frontier, she's over at the body shop.
Yeah,
she got rear-ended pretty solid, like
there was
by a big winch bumper.
Some Toyota hate crime on this one, right?
Yeah, there was some hate. There was some Toyota and Nissan hate crimes going on. I was about to burn something down.
Oh my God! Look at what they posted.
Decepticon face.
Jeez. Trap. Oh my God. Yeah, we'll get Danny some internet. We'll get him some internet. Sorry, Danny.
Well, I'll move out of the
story.
It's gonna help when I move out of the trailer and into the new podcast or video area. Oh. So yeah, the red truck got rear-ended, basically, and I'm gonna be doing a big video on it once I can get over to the body shop and do a little bit more video. I didn't get a lot of stuff when it happened, just some pictures. But
I've seen the picture.
Yeah, it's at the body shop right now, and it's really it's gonna at least need a new bed. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So
I've seen it, guys.
No frame damage though. But I will say, Dave, that she is gonna be coming back better than ever. I got a couple cool plans for what I'm gonna be doing with it. Since it's gonna get fixed, I might as well do some upgrades.
Well, where will they see these? Where will they see these plans, Danny? When you show them?
Obviously on my channel, Groot X.
You guys have been killing it.
Throwing some videos up there.
You've been killing it for Danny, man. He's got his numbers way up, and
yeah.
Danny's like this close to be. Danny, you have the subs. You just need people to kick in and watch the videos a little bit.
Yep, just watch videos.
Oh man.
Also, I just dropped the race truck off over at Evan Miller Racing, which he does all the race prep and building of all the Honda factory team side by sides and their race truck. So they do really rad work, and I dropped it off and I said, hey, let's get this thing racing. So when we see that again, it's gonna be getting torn into by some very skilled hands, much more skilled than I have. So I'm really stoked for that. So that's gonna be coming soon.
You were suggesting that truck could be on its tires and moving on its own by the end of the year, right?
Oh yeah, I'm racing this year.
Nice.
It's happening.
You guys realize if Danny's
I'm gonna
racing,
try and get at least 2 races.
If Danny's doing a pretty major race, that I'm flying out, man. I'm gonna document this thing. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Oh man, so I'm Flytrap. I was like crying. You had me going, man. Thank you so much. I needed that. Let's see. Cornetti Motorsports. One problem Nissan's large trucks have is their dealer network is not everywhere like Ford and FCA and GM. Yeah, the dealer networks has been a major.
Yep.
They kind of give Nissan the big FU, and it's not Nissan like not getting trucks to the dealers; it's getting dealers to take on trucks. And when this new Titan came out, they had a bunch of dealers jump in of like, man, I want, and they started lifting these trucks and selling all these, and that's why you've seen all these people pissed off on Facebook of like a $70,000 Titan. And then they go to try to trade it in 6 months later, and they're like, I've got a $30,000 Titan. And you're like, yeah, well, the appreciation and the fact that you overpaid for aftermarket parts that you could do yourself. Now, granted, not everybody can do it. And, you want to put that on your loan. Good for you. But, yeah, dealer networks for the full size definitely is that. Let's see. Silver Warrior, one thing I loved about my Titan was the back seat was huge compared to other trucks. So many pros compared to the others. I will say I spent some time in the crew cab Titan, and it was very comfortable. Like I really thought about leasing another one for a year.
Oh, for sure.
When I bought my Juke, that was on the table to just go ahead and lease a 2020.
When I dropped the truck, my red truck off at the body shop. There was a couple things, and the guy's like, "Listen, man, I can put together a total quote, or I can put together a quote that's under total, so we can get this thing fixed, and then maybe do some upgrades instead." And man, I sat there, looked at the truck, and I was so on the fence because I love New Titan. But man, I can't argue with the Brad, dude. She has done me, like, even after I got hit, but I spent 2 days roaming the wilderness, just living my dream. And she, it was like she just took a punch to the face and just kept on running. So,
so Megatron voice Danny was brought to you by Z1 Motorsports. So if you need anything for your Nissan Z, please go to Z1 Motorsports. And if you need anything for your full-size truck, please go over to Z1 Off-Road and tell them the NNP sent you, and they will not cut you any discount because this was not a paid advertisement. Let's see. We're going to have to wind this one down just a little bit. I'm going to get a couple more questions here. Never see me. Thanks, Joe Taylor. Never see me laugh so hard. Joe, thank you for the congratulations on the 2,000 subs. That is all due to you guys. I would like to take credit for a lot of that, and it's just the fans of Nissan coming through and liking what we do. I do appreciate it quite a bit. And the next goal, 5K, guys. And according to statistics, at the rate we're growing now, I could hit 5K by the end of the year. So, and you guys sharing this content, any videos that you like, that helps more than anything. It really does. When you share those, you expose us to maybe people that don't know about us. So I appreciate that. Let's see. Frontier Life, congratulations. Hey, guys, go over to frontierlife.club, too, and go spend some time with our buddy Dave over there. He's trying to build him up a little channel, and he's nothing. We're nothing but Nissans. He's like the most micro thing of like, I'm nothing but Frontiers. He's like, F you guys. I'm going even harder. I'm just Frontiers.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ronald, how about the interior of the new Frontier? Ronald, you guys know as soon as I know, you're going to know. Like, I was talking to Nissan this week about my PR people. My old team is completely gone. So there's a new team that may like us a little better than the previous administration.
We're working to rub some elbows and get in bed with the correct new people. So we'll get in there and we'll do what we do. We'll smooth talk and sweet talk and rub the correct elbows and we'll get you some information. We can guarantee you that.
That's right. There's a couple hotbeds things I want to know about right now. Z would be one of them. Frontier and honestly, Ariya is on my radar right now because I think for Nissan that's a game changer for Nissan. Because it's gonna
Terra is something I want to get into.
Well, don't we all? Let's see a couple more questions here. The Decepticons, Flytraps. The Decepticons are invading. Oh, let's see. Cordetti, the small rural dealerships help the big three sells full size and servicing. Major decisions with truck buyers. Ford is everywhere. That is correct. But Ford's also had in the United States. They had about 100 years before Nissan decided to make a full size truck. So. They're about 100 years ahead of Nissan on that. Let's see what else we got here. John Adams, I purchased a 2019 Pro 4X in December, and I got a great deal on a great truck. So underrated. Mine has almost everything. I can make coffee off the back of the truck bed. How many trucks have a 360 cam? Yes. We've preached it for a long time, and my 17 was a great truck. There was a couple things I did a video on it, 5 things that I really didn't like, but ultimately it wasn't the truck itself. It was just like little nitpicky things that I didn't like. Let's see. Ariya is going to be just a little bit bigger than Rogue, my understanding, but I have not seen that in person. So if you were at a car show that it was at, you probably know more about the Ariya size than I do. But yes, Ariya will be the flagship, definitely. Oh, we got some super chats there, Danny. Damn, Danny getting in bed. Sweet
Listen,
talking.
I do what I need to do, Flytrap. I do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, we go to these Nissan events. You got to do what you got to do. You gotta
you bring the party, and sometimes people want to take that party somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to get in a hot tub when you're wearing a suit. That's just
right.
what you do.
That's right. You got to impress these people. And I'm pretty sure Our Lady with Infinity now is not ever going to invite us to one of those classy events. But hey, it's all right. But let's see. Ariya about rogue size. Let's see. Ronald just gave us a $2.99 because Ronald is an awesome dude.
Thanks, Flytrap.
Let's see. Mommy Vloggers from Dave. Dave from NMP 2020. NMP. Oh, as I wrap this up. So, guys, when I say this, like, you liking and subscribing to this stuff means a lot. So, we've talked about it in the past. There's tiers of where Nissan views you. And this is pretty much manufacturing across the board. Our biggest push for YouTube was to get our voice louder within Nissan. The 2K opens the doors. 4K opens more doors. We get to 5K and 10K. Those really open the doors. So that's why, like, you guys, a lot of you are here every Sunday. And that means the world to me and Danny,
that's
man.
Huge.
We feel like we know you
huge.
guys.
I really appreciate it.
Like Joe Taylor. Are we friends on Facebook? I don't know. I know you're on Instagram. But
yeah.
But like, you guys get so excited, like Ronald.
Yeah, man.
You guys,
and Ronald just started the Hawaii Nation.
Nissan Hawaii Nation, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, which is sweet, dude. We appreciate you branching out and kind of doing your deal out there, and you know, we love seeing guys like you just, you know, step out and bring some more love to the brand, dude.
Danny,
and that helps us
great?
all.
So Ronald works on a cruise line in Hawaii.
Yep.
You know what we need to do with the live feed from, right?
Cruise ship.
A cruise ship
With Corona. Cruise ship Corona cruise.
I would be drinking Coronas all day, dude.
Oh yeah.
But once again, guys, so we're on social media. So Facebook, if you're not a fan of Facebook, we're on Instagram. If you're not a fan of Instagram, you're crazy. But we're on Twitter because our boy, we got to talk about Andrew just a second. So we have basically an intern now, Andrew, that Andrew came to us all excited, like he was going to change the game for us. And he's helped us quite a bit, Dan. But so in turn, Andrew's been writing some articles for us, which I'm going to post a new one up in the next couple of days. Andrew's been working behind
some great insights.
Mm-hmm. Andrew's been working behind the scenes on building our Twitter. So if you're not on Twitter yet, or if you're not on our Twitter, what are you doing? Like everything we do. Once again, we need all this social media. It's a big pile that we put in our cauldron, and we show Nissan how bad we are. But
we have the best insights and suggestions for Nissan. So the more power we have, the more power we can tell Nissan to do shit.
Right, and clearly we made with Destination Frontier. That's our.
Obviously,
Destination Frontier was all me and Danny. I'd like to. There was a couple things they put on that truck that we didn't get for them, but it wasn't much. Things like that. This show particular is an influencer to people that make a difference at Nissan. So you guys, when you like and subscribe this, it makes all the world of the difference. Once again, the money that you donate to us we're just piling it right now. It's paid for the new supercomputer here, so you can see for this. Danny's got a couple computer
which works so good to start things off.
It wasn't the computer fault. It was me.
It was Dave's fault.
The Patreon, if you like to support that way, and I'm not begging for your money. I'm just telling you where your money's going right now. So Danny, we've got to get Danny a new computer to help so Danny can get out of the trailer there and have his own professional looking deal. Danny's going to get a matching.
So I don't have to spend race truck funds on a new computer.
Right. And it makes a world of a difference. Watching the videos, we make a little bit of money now from the videos. I mean, it's not get rich money, but you know, it keeps this little glowy light on. So we do appreciate that. So, anyways, guys, I want to say thank you so much. We've got some really cool content coming. I've got a couple videos that'll drop this week on my thoughts of that Nissan video where I break down particular cars. Danny's got some stuff coming up. I know you want to do a walk around of your Z.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little Z stuff.
Maybe we can get a walk around. You can show us the caved in bed of the truck.
I was gonna do a walk around on the race truck or on the red truck, but it's getting worked on. I mean, we'll do something with her.
Anyway, so from all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to way over on the left coast, and even we can say down to the ATL again from our buddy Andrew down there. This has been your Nissan Nation podcast, and what are we, Danny?
Nissan Nation Productions out.
Peace, everybody. Love y'all.
See you guys.